If there's a mechanic that defines and distinguishes Sonic the Fighters as a fighting game that isn't sidestepping, it might just be the game's safe land system, often referred to by players as air teching or simply teching. Basically, when a character is launched by an attack or throw, they can press punch, kick, and block at the same time to flip out of stun and quickly become actionable while still in the air. Doing this will both prevent the teching player from falling victim to easy follow-ups on hits, as well as prevent the teching player from being put into knockdown when they land. One thing that might not be clear to new players, however, is that there's actually multiple ways to tech a hit. If you tech with no directional input, you'll end up going straight back down to the ground. Hold back while teching to move yourself away from the hit, hold forward while teching to cancel out your horizontal momentum, and hold up while teching to, in essence, perform a mid-air jump. You're actionable after a tech as if you had jumped. As a result, characters that can spin dash can often land simple counter hits by teching up and then landing with air spin. Similarly, Bean can counter hit from a tech with a landing bomb, and Amy and Bark can both find counter hits by landing with air hammer and fist drop respectively. Out of a tech, all characters but Bark can also use air hyper start, which both allows players to land with an active hitbox and at the same time activates hyper mode. All in all, teching can be a pretty expressive tool in your gameplay. Bean with his bombs is the only character in Sonic the Fighters who can hurt himself. And while this seems like a bad thing on paper, and sometimes it is, Bean's bombs being a low damage option that can also initiate a tech situation allow him to, if need be, bomb himself in order to initiate a tech, and then use a backwards tech to jump to a different part of the ring very quickly. While teching is strong, it does come with a downside. When you use this technique, it does not mean that you are immune to follow-up hits. And while in order to do so, players will often need to guess the direction and timing of your tech, it can be particularly dangerous when your techs are called out, as you will take more damage if you're intercepted before landing from a tech than if you had not teched at all. Indeed, another common slip-up from newer players to Sonic the Fighters can come from teching things too much. In some cases, like against non-hyper hyperstart spam or Bart's Hyper Lariat, overzealous teching can actually elongate a combo and all but seal your fate. Sometimes, it's better to just take the knockdown and avoid the extra damage. The strength of teching in Sonic the Fighters essentially makes it so a lot of attacks are not safe on hit. And this impacts not only moves used in neutral, but even moves used out of tech, such as descending air spins. Yes, in Sonic the Fighters, even the counter hits have counter hits, so choose your moves and techs carefully.